Hey everyone, happy Thursday and welcome to Virtual Veg Fest Live. And thank you to the Plant Based Network for being our partner because this wouldn't happen without them. And our sponsor of our lives this week is Code Blue, which you want to tune in on Sunday for our talk with Dilip and Saray, which is going to be great again at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And of course, virtualvegfest.com, where you can shop our vendors and go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel to be entered into our raffle for a Follow Your Heart gift pack, a Hodo Foods gift pack, or a Crafters Organic gift pack. And that'll be monthly. So the more people that subscribe, the less chance you have of winning, but good for us. No. It has been a great I've had a great 20-minute conversation with Ellen prior to this. And if you didn't know, today is Ellen Canner is our person who we're going to be speaking to from Miami, which is great. And of course, we talked about Florida being, epicenter. And but what's really cool is that I hadn't heard of Ellen before I was referred by Robin to be in touch with you. She hooked us up together, and Robin will come on to do a cooking demo on the 25th of this month, I'm pretty sure. So, but in the last few days, it has become obvious to me who you are and how important you are to the vegan plant based community. And what's really cool is like yesterday or 2 days ago, someone said, "Oh, I love her," and then today, Fran Costigan shares this live on her personal Facebook page and says, "If you haven't seen her present, you need to watch today at 4 p.m." I mean, that's huge kudos, which makes me pretty proud and honored that you said, "Yeah, sure, let's do this live thing." And I also know that as from our conversation that you're not normally on this side. You're normally the interviewer and not the interviewee. And not that this is an interview. This is just a give and take talk that everyone who's watching gets to watch with us. And also, just so you know, if you're watching, please let us know that you're there. Say hi, say where you're from. If you have any questions or if you have any comments, put them in the comment section. We will definitely get to them. What I like to do is I throw it at our guests to say, "Hey, tell us who you are. Tell us everything you want to share about yourself." And then we'll start our conversation. So, Ellen, I'm going to throw it at you now.
Yay! Well, hey everyone, and the person who said who loves me, I love you back. I am author of the award-winning book Feeding the Hungry Ghost: Life, Faith, and What to Eat for Dinner. I have been contributor to outlets including Huffington Post. I was their Meatless Monday blogger for years. The Miami Herald, Veg News, Whole Foods Magazine, Civil Eats. I write about, and I love being vegan, but I also write about the intersection of food, wellness, sustainability, and culture. Because to me, food is a really big story. It's more than just dinner. Well, I can go into it for a long, long time. But I really like how food is a connector. However different or divided we are, we all need to eat. So I like to start at a point of connection.
No, that's great. I mean, feel free to elaborate. We've got time.
Oh,
We just started. It's like I'm going to cut you off right now. So, I mean, you're right. Food is connection. Food is incredibly important in my world, in my friends' worlds. One of the things, one of my friends came over recently, and one of the things I miss the most is going out to eat with her. This is my friend Andrea, going out to eat with her and sharing food. Because now, even if we were to get food, we couldn't even share it because of the pandemic, which is so disappointing because part of that experience of eating was one, being able to get more food than we normally would because both of us are ordering, and we've ordered a lot when we went out to eat, more than we should have. And then trying it all and sharing it because that's part of our meal thing as like more foodie people. That's part of our thing. We're not, as much as food is for just living, food is an experience. And that part of doing that is with the people that you love and care about, which I think is something that you touch on, right?
it is. Food is a deeply human experience. Um, I've been thinking a lot about Morocco because I miss that place and I miss that food so much. Um, but in Morocco, food is served communally, and you're supposed to like dip in, and everyone has some. And now that sounds absolutely terrifying in the pandemic. But the idea was when we do that, you get a little bit of me, and I get a little bit of you, and we wind up stronger because of it. I'm a real big believer that we are stronger together, and food can help us achieve that.
Agree, 100%. Oh, we got lots of okay. Got a couple of those are comments. Well, thank you for watching. So, lots of kisses. You just never know what's going to happen when you're live, just so you know. All right. So, feeding the hungry ghost, life, faith, and what to eat for dinner. Where the
Crazy
idea
title?
it's I mean, it's well, you know what, if you're looking to catch the eye, to say, "Well, hey, what is this?" Like, what well, it's enough of a reason to pick it up and open it up, right? So tell us more about it.
Okay. It's not quite a cookbook and it's not quite a memoir. It's both, because I think the most intriguing food does involve personal stories, does involve that connection. I got the title Feeding the Hungry Ghost from, I used to live in Tokyo, and my first year there, I saw everyone going to their local temple and lighting incense, and they would be bringing food. And I thought, is this a picnic? Is this something I'm missing? So I went downstairs to my very proper Japanese neighbor and I tried very politely to ask, what is this? And she said, oh, hungry ghost neighbors, hungry ghost relatives. Should give me a little more here. In Asia, there is a culture of hungry ghosts. They are ancestors who were so hungry, so clutchy and needy, you may know people like that now, that they're that way even after they die. So they're still not happy and they come back and haunt you. So people in the summer go to their temple and they pray to their hungry ghost ancestors and they bring them bowls of rice or oranges or stuff they like and say, here, this is for you. Can you please go away for a while? And I thought, wow, the same thing works for us. If you give us attention and kindness and feed us, it quiets our craziness, it feeds our hunger. So that's the long story around the title. And I always have to have like food in my hands. I figured it would keep me from fidgeting too much. Here's some limes.
Oh, friend Costigan is just made a comment. Hi. I'm from very vegan Philadelphia. She misses you. That's very sweet. Oh, Philadelphia. Oh, if you can eat a veg, everyone should eat a
It's
veg.
so
It's at
good.
one point in their lives.
Mm.
Yes, it's one of the best restaurants I've ever eaten in. Sauces. I never understood how good sauces need, how important sauces were to a meal until I ate a meal at veg, and it made a difference. So
And
so
Rich and
back to
Kate have so much heart. I mean, their passion comes through on the plate. It really, really does.
oh, for sure. That is definitely for sure. She lives 5 minutes from veg. Oh wow, you're so lucky. I guess you're no longer in New York City. That's actually amazing. I'm kind of envious. So going back to the book, right? So I saw on your website you have at least 3 books, right? And you have a book about beans, but it also looks like you're a fiction author too.
Um, I started as a book person. I interviewed all kinds of authors. I love fiction because I think narrative feeds us as much as food does, the story behind things. So, yeah, in addition to doing recipes and doing cookbooks and doing presentations, I love stories. Some I read, some I tell. And that's what my novel is, In the Blood. It's said in the keys where you cannot go right now, but you can download it for $1 and get the experience.
I mean, look, I read the little description of it, and it said it's about family. I guess a dysfunctional family, and the background to that, right?
Well, most families are dysfunctional in one way or another, and I
Okay.
think something about Florida just brings dysfunction. And I kind of, I have a love hate relationship with South Florida, particularly lately. But so much of Miami has fed who I am. The fact that I love the heat and humidity, I love tropical fruit. The very warm vibe here, I love it. And we have such a great vegan community too, which is a fairly recent development because when I started as a food writer, there were more steakhouses going than anything else.
I know.
So
I saw the
progress.
difference.
Mm.
Yeah, it's amazing to see. Florida one day had nothing. Like there was nothing, nothing, nothing. And then you go back and now there's everything. There's it's everywhere. Veganism and restaurants and food is everywhere down there. All the way north, all the way south. It's just it's I don't know what happened, but somebody just kind of went, "Oh, this is a good idea."
Well, I
It's a
sort of
healthy
feel
place to
like
live.
vegan pioneers such as myself have been pushing for this for a long time. And you know how it is. You're working and working and working towards something, and it feels like nothing's happening, and then it happens. So I'm hoping that will also be true for some of the social issues we're facing now, that we can make a difference. I really believe that.
Well, that's great, and Robin's watching, and
Yay!
yes,
She was
which is
my
great, and she
girlfriend.
says,
She
yeah,
came down. She went, and her husband came down and stayed with us in January, and it just seems like so long ago that was even possible.
yeah, to have anyone visit, it's like, "Oh, no." In January, we probably shouldn't have had people visiting, but we didn't know. Like, I had an event in February, and we think about that now and go, "We had like 400 people at that event. Uh-oh." We didn't know yet. We should have known, but we didn't know. But she says, "Tell us about your Buddhist ideas."
Ah, my Buddhist ideas. That's sort of what the hungry ghost is. Robin, what else did you want to know? I need to elaborate.
Go and just go with whatever you want to go with. Don't even,
Okay.
yeah, just
Um,
go.
I have I think food, because we eat every day, I think we forget how special it is, how sensual it is, and how sacred it is. I can get very woo woo about this. When you think of it, eating and breathing are the most primal things we do. We need them every day to live. And food is how we bond. Every 4th of July barbecue, every takeout you have with your friend, every grab and go breakfast you have with your family, this is how we connect. Food can heal us emotionally and physically if we are attentive to it, if we come to it with mindfulness. And, on the other hand, if we don't, the pack it on COVID-19, I've heard from a number of people, it's very real that in the stress of this pandemic, they've just been eating. They've been trying to feed that hungry ghost. And I know some of the people you've had on your show, Dr. Khan, Dr. Jenkins, can speak really in a medical sense of what a plant based diet can do to support you. Look, guys, this is a very tough time. I cannot lie about that. So we need to do everything we can to support our bodies. And I think a plant based diet is totally the best way to do that. And you're helping the environment and you're helping animals. It's a win win win. So I really don't care how you get there. When Helene and I were talking, I said, call it plant based, call it vegan, call it Fred, but come to it. Whatever gets you there is going to keep you there. And you're going to meet so many more exciting people. It's going to broaden your world, it's going to rock your world.
Agree with you. 100% agree with you. Robin also asked, because you asked to clarify, how does Buddhism lead to plant-based eating?
Ah, thank you, Robin. Thank you for being my point person. One of the key precepts of Buddhism is ahimsa, nonviolence. So I think, Helene and I were talking beforehand about creating division, about cruelty. I really do believe we are all one. And that's humans, that's animals. And if you love animals, or if you love humans, or if you love yourself, that, especially if you're on a plant based diet, you can feel that love expand. So, of course, you wouldn't want to hurt anything. Of course, you wouldn't want to hurt a fellow human or an animal. It's all part of the same thing. And I think the longer you're on a plant based diet, the clearer that becomes to you. You are able to see and feel these connections. I was talking to Victoria Moran about that. She has been part of the production of the film A Prayer for Compassion. I think when you're on a standard diet, it kind of blocks your signals, so you're not as in tune with things. But when you experience a plant based diet, I mean, it's delicious too, but it does delicious things for your spirit.
Yes. I like how you talk, and I almost feel like you're guarding yourself from really delving in. Like, I just wanna, like, just be like, "Come on, just pull it on out." I just want to just let it all out there. But then thank you, Robin, for helping, because obviously she knows you really well to be able to say like, "Oh, I want you to talk even more about what I want you to talk even more about you." But, I mean, we could talk about plant-based
Thank you.
world, right? So we can touch on Miami. We touch on Florida because we've already gone there in the sense that it's turned over to being incredibly vegan friendly. I mean, from nothing to 100% in like overnight, pretty much. So I'd like to get into some of your favorite places to go to eat locally, because I've been to a lot of them, and we've brought this up for Portland, we've brought this up for other areas of the country. So like Nashville, which is another foodie city for me. So let's talk about, because you brought up seed before we went live. So what places do you absolutely love that are in
Oh, we
Florida?
are very, very fortunate here. There is um, Plant, which is in Sacred Space, which is this wonderful healing center. And the husband and wife chefs are just very innovative and, again, like Kate and Rich, very warm. And they were not vegans. I don't think they've been vegan for very long, but they have embraced it. And they are so creative. She makes aquafaba macarons that would knock you out. Um, and I had like some wild lion's mane mushroom dish when I was there last. It was texture, it was umami, it was everything fantastic. Um, there's Planta, which is, I think, in a couple other locations in the country and Canada. I know it's in New York. And it's comfort food gone vegan. And our chef, who is just a sweetheart of a guy, again, had not been vegan for long, but he did it for his health. And he had been in a very high pressure, high end restaurant situation. And he said, the more I became interested in plant based and plant based cooking, the less breaking down a side of beef seemed like anything I wanted to do. So, yeah, we're cheering on our wins. And I have to put a shout out to Carolina Mollet, who is also a dear friend, who has the l'artisan vegan pastry that is so amazing. Her croissants, which are enormous and filled and just lighter than air, won best croissants in a blind tasting, and the judges were like, "What? No butter? This is weird. This can't be right." It's right. She has proprietary process, but I just think it's magic.
Right, because in Miami, you have is it a vegan food hall, like a vegan mall type thing? I didn't go, but I meant to. I met some of the vendors at Vegan Dale a year ago.
Oh, yes. And it starts with a V, and I can't remember it. But I also want to, at the moment, I want to say hi to, want to encourage people when they're here to go to Love Life Cafe. If you get the latest issue of Veg News, it's featured, and they also do great vegan comfort food. They make everyone feel welcome.
Oh, that's great. I mean, like I said, like we've been talking about, food is the thing that brings a lot of people together, whether it's plant-based, raw, vegan, junk food, it doesn't really matter because it brings us all together in a way that we are saving the planet and we are saving the animals, not necessarily saving our health, depending on what you're eating, but overall, yes, because you shouldn't be eating that junk food every day. That would be really bad for you. Then your product, you might it's just the same and as poor for you as a standard American diet if you eat vegan junk food daily. Just so you know, that's been proven at the Peapod conference. It came up. So if you look it up, if you have any questions, you have to eat healthy to be healthy. Fuel your body with
Four,
healthy food.
I have a
Okay.
four-word mantra:
Okay.
less processed, more produce. And I think that's so easy to remember, but it's hard for people to do. And I get that. I call myself the soulful vegan because our operating systems, our brains, are super smart. They got me to tune in and set up when I was supposed to, and not space. It gets us through a really difficult day, but it's been proven we only use 10% of our brain. It's a great 10%, and it's called the executive brain. But then there's the whole other 90%. So, what's that? We can't even access it consciously. It's emotions, it's associations, it's memories. That stuff is really, really powerful. And so I try and give people, data for your executive brain, that you can grow a pound of beans with just like a 15th of the amount of resources that it would take to grow a cow, per pound, because cows weigh a lot more than a pound. But I also try and get the rest of you, that other 90%, which is why I think I'm interested in stories, which is why I'm interested in connection, which is why I'm interested in mindfulness and conscious cooking. It helps us internalize these things that I think are so, so important, and gives us something fantastic to eat too. So,
Wow.
can we do this
Good.
interactive eating thing I was talking about?
Yes. Yes. Run with
Okay.
it. Let's see. Everybody go get food.
Uh, just a bite of something. This is a quick and dirty introduction to mindful eating. We'll just sort of talk and sing while you go get something to eat. Just a bite.
Right, whatever it is. If you don't happen to have food around you, a lot of people do, right?
Right.
I'm
And
not
if
going to
you
run and
don't
go
want
get
to
any.
play, I'm totally down with that. Just deal with me for a couple minutes.
Right. But
And
either way, when
whatever
you
it
eat
is,
later, yeah, right. Either way, when you eat later, remember what we just did. That's right. That's all you have to do.
right, conjure those sensations up. Um, okay. So, whatever it is you've chosen, if it's junk food, if it's wheatgrass, it's all okay because we are suspending judgment here. I talk about the four magics of mindful eating when I do these workshops. And the first one is bringing mind and body to the table, which seems really easy, but it's like more, less processed, more produce. It's harder to do. So I'm going to try and get us there. And I see that there are some people watching. So we already have the bodies. Let's just try and bring the minds there. So if you can, just sort of get comfortable wherever it is you're sitting. Take a few deep breaths and let them go. And feel your chair or your bottom or whatever it is that's supporting you. Get comfortable. Feel that you are supported, that you can, just for a moment or so, let go. Lower your gaze or soften it, or if you feel you can close your eyes, do it. And bring your attention into yourself. Feel that breath, the in, the out. You're doing great, by the way. Become aware of any feelings that percolate up or any thoughts. This is strange human wiring, it happens. Just very gently, like you would guide a friend, guide yourself back to being present in the moment, right where you are. You are fantastic right where you are. And now that you have gone within a little bit, thank you, Lovey. I was going to say become aware of sound. You were a little fast on the cue, but you did great. Um, Listen to that dog bark. Listen to the sound of my voice. Become aware of any ambient noise in the room, whether it's your dog or your kids or the mailman. It's all okay. It's good, actually. Um, and now I want you to start coming back to the present, taking a couple more breaths, maybe fluttering your eyes open, and coming back to where we are. Hey, everybody. That was a 2-minute exercise, and I know from doing these workshops, suddenly everyone looks much perkier and you're much more present. So the great thing is now that you kind of know what this technique is like, when you can really focus your attention, you can bring it to whatever it is you're going to eat. Food is so sensual. So before you dive in, take a look at it. I have some limes here. I just like to play with food. I love the shape of them. I love the color. I love the fragrance. I think we forget how powerful scent can be. There are studies about neurogastronomy, and one of the scary things about COVID is you can't smell, you can't taste. It's because once the olfactory things shut down, no access. So you cannot even get the flavors of food. I am also very into texture. So what does food, this whatever it is that you've got, when you're ready, take a bite, but before you chew and swallow, feel what it's like in your mouth. What is the texture? Is it crispy? As a food writer, I can tell you that sells more ingredients or more dishes on a menu than anything else. Is it creamy? I have a real passion for creaminess. Um,
Oh,
Now
Robin,
we
Ellen,
get,
can you hear me?
I can. Have you lost me?
I've lost you.
Okay. And so what do I do on this end? Start over?
I would I would say yes. Come go out and come back in would probably make the most sense because you just, of course, we talked about this.
Okay, and now we are ready to do it. I'm just
Yes.
signing off for a second.
Okay,
Okay.
that'd be great. All right. So everyone, again, middle PSA. If you didn't know, on Sunday we're gonna go live with uh, Dilip and Saray from Cold Blue. Dilip is the executive producer, and Saray is the doc that is in the movie, and she's a producer of the movie, which I'm super excited about. And here we go.
Are we still super excited?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, the odd thing, the most odd thing about that was that we discussed it happening ahead of time, and it was just so strange because I could hear you, but your video completely went away. So I was like, maybe it's just me. No, it wasn't just me. So yes, so you can continue because I'm mesmerized.
Oh, good. That's a good
Yes.
thing. Okay, we'll say we have done the mind body thing. And as you start really thinking about what it is you're eating, I'm going to tell you about the second magic of mindful eating: nature. Nature is so benevolent. And I think sometimes we feel like we're at odds with nature, but we're really a part of it. When we breathe, remember we were talking about breathing, we take in oxygen and we let out carbon dioxide. We don't want it, it's no good to us, but it's very, very good for plants. They use it for food. How elegant a system is that? I cannot get over it. Um, we were talking about Florida. Our native tribe is called the Seminole, which means in its natural place. So when you choose plant-based food, food from plants, you can tap into that. Even if you can't get outside, which I think is really a wonderful thing to be able to do, you can bring the outside in with fresh fruits and vegetables. So you can get a little of that magic. And the third magic of mindful eating is, you know how we have been loving virtual cooking shows and virtual dinners? It's because we are having to do a little more virtual than we used to. The magic is the magic of a shared meal. It really is so potent. You know, the best conversations happen over a shared meal. It is how we bond. There is something deeply, deeply human about it. Um, and I love doing these workshops because, you know, maybe a bunch of people who don't know each other sit down, they're little ill at ease with each other until we've gone through this. And it's a real transcending experience. Which brings me to the fourth magic of mindful eating: gratitude. Gratitude lifts our hearts and our spirits, it lowers our blood pressure. All this is really good right now. Um, and it can make the simplest meal, it can elevate it into something special. So I love to be able to share that. I love to be able to get people to see food in a larger context as a way to heal, as a way to tap into mindfulness. There are a whole lot of ways. Mindfulness is America's #1 wellness trend. But food is what I got. Food is what I always come back to. So I see mindfulness through the lens of food.
And Evan just said gratitude is everything, and that's true. I'm glad you're here, Evan. That's, I mean, I totally get it. I get why you can have a room of people and you go through that. It's an icebreaker of all meditation, of a yoga level. It combines all of that and centering around food as well is something that is like rich for our souls, breaking bread, with your neighbor, with your friends. It's so, I mean, I'm Jewish. I'm assuming you're Jewish. It's in our heritage. Jews love food. We love feeding people. It's just our nature, right? So someone just go ahead.
Actually, I think that's true of every culture. Um, and yeah, I mean, I am sort of nominally Jewish, but my Italian friends say, I'm Italian, so what do you want? I'm going to feed you. And my Japanese
Yes,
friends, but of course you will have this with me. I think that's lovely. I think that is a generous human impulse. And I think that's a wonderful thing to be able to tap into.
agreed. This is so cool. Thank you for doing that. I'm really glad you brought that up, and I hope everyone who participated and watched and who watches this afterwards actually does it along with you, because it outside of the dogs barking, just not on cue. They could have been on cue. That would have been better. But outside of the
Oh,
dogs
we
barking,
forgive the dogs. They're adorable.
I mean, it's almost a hypnotic state that because I closed my eyes to go there, and I have you in my ears, which is even better than people listening just through the audio of the computer. You were talking to me through that, which was really, really cool. Thank you for sharing that. I greatly appreciate it and hope everyone else did too.
Well,
So,
thank you for letting us play. I liked it too.
oh, I'm glad. And it gives us more insight into who you are and what you do and what you're trying to share with everybody. And that's important. And of course, they can get the book to go even deeper into it as well.
It's true. The book is not new, but everything I talk about in the book is still absolutely true. I arrange the recipes seasonally, and I give people prompts about how to connect better with the earth, with what they're eating, with each other. I call them gentle nudges. I'm not really a hardcore person, but I like to coax, I like to encourage. So I think that's probably why I got interested in foods. Like, okay, I can kind of talk about these Buddhist concepts, but if I feed you too, you're more likely to pay attention.
Food is the gateway drug to veganism.
It is absolutely.
Yep. Is it, you can't have a festival without it because people come for the food and they stay and shop while and then they go get more food. So because that's the main thing that people I asked in Atlanta, actually Lee is watching. I asked in Atlanta, I said 2 years ago, I think. I said, would you guys come if there was no food? And someone was like, we'd come, and they'd be like, food. I said, what if we had an event without food? Uh, you know,
Well, that's the
yeah,
great thing about plant-based. Come for the food, stay for the enlightenment, stay for the community, stay for all of it.
exactly. That's a great way to put it. And then, so you also have a book about beans.
Oh, I love beans. I I have presented about beans. I have started programming through the U.S. Pulse Association. That means dried beans. About how innovative beans can be. Now beans are hot because people are stuck at home and they don't know what to do with them. Uh, I was actually very happy when my local grocery store bean shelf was cleared away. I thought, finally, people are getting this. Beans are, I talk about connection. Almost every culture has a bean recipe. But it's the people's food, and that's what I like. I like that point of commonality. We have I've done videos on Haitian black bean sauce. I've done videos on Cuban black beans. I mean, that's just in our own community. And it's beans are like the little black dress of cuisine. They can be dressed up, they can be dressed down. They're cheap, they're pantry friendly. Can you tell I'm on a roll about this? Yeah, I'm a little passionate.
No, okay. I mean, I've been buying obviously some of the things because I have a bulk buying club, and some of the things that I've said. Well, you know what? If things get really weird, we should have rice and we should have beans and the Instant Pot, and I can make beans relatively quickly, even if I don't soak them first. I just finished up chickpeas that I made 4 days ago to go with rice that I made in the Instant Pot 4 days ago, and absolutely delicious, healthy, nutritious. I mean, easy is once they're cooked, any spices you want to put in, any type of sauce, hot sauce, mild, just mayo, my lunch, the brown rice, the chickpeas, a tablespoon of just mayo, and 2 tablespoons of salsa mixed up. Absolutely delicious and simple.
I
So good.
just made a pot of white beans before I got online with you. And I'll tell you something else cool about beans and cool about my weird passion for them. Not only are they great for us, they're great for the planet. They're one of the most sustainable crops to grow, and they improve the soil. They've got little nodes on their roots that fix the nitrogen in the soil. So I use them as a cover crop now when it's really super hot and it's not worth planting anything. So I just planted a handful of dried beans that were from my grocery store, and they're already coming up 3 days later. I mean, that is amazing. That's why I say nature is one of the magics of mindful eating and conscious cooking. It's something we can all do. There's no
So so you took the dried beans, like a chickpea or a pinto bean, whatever it is, like black beans, I have them all in my house. And did you plant them outside or inside?
I have a little raised bed garden, and I really encourage everyone to be able to grow a little of their own food. It doesn't have to be acreage. Believe me, I do not have it myself. But if you try growing a bean, parsley, a tomato on your windowsill, you're really going to be amazed. And it really makes you become aware of what it takes to grow food, that it's not easy. But one of the things we have now is time. And I think it deepens that connection. Time is really the secret ingredient in so many things, in cooking, in becoming really compassionate and consciously vegan. Um, the beans you made the first day, I bet they were fantastic, but they tasted better the next day. The flavors deepen. And it's not like you can say, okay, I need this now. Or, I mean, you can, but it won't work. You have to sort of let things happen. This is something I would say has come to me not willingly because I'm always in a hurry, but I have learned fighting it ain't going to get me anywhere.
Patience is a virtue.
Yeah,
And
not
things have
mine,
to grow
but
at their own pace.
right. Mm.
Right? And especially the seeds, to take it more on a human touch, the seeds that we plant with people that we meet and we talk to, we may not get to see sprout, but we know we planted them, right? Because that's important too. Every time we do this, or you present, or I have a festival, we plant tons of seeds that day. And if I'm fortunate, I get to see them sprout. Even if not, I know that at some point you can't watch a movie like Forks Over Knives. You can't sit in on the education day and listen to people speak about health and animals and fitness and everything involved with this, and not at some point have it just go, ooh, now's the time. Now's the time to whatever it is, stop eating, cheese, stop eating eggs, stop eating animals in any way. You just never know when you'll finally do that. And that could be because you sat in a veg fest 5 years ago and heard someone like Gene Bauer speak, and now you're faced with meeting somebody's pet pig and go, oh,
Mhm.
that's what Gene meant. you know?
It's true. I am a big believer in the rule of one. I know there is so much coming at us, and it's like, well, I can't do it all. You don't have to. Try one. Try doing one thing. I really think we all have the power to do that. Add one more fresh vegetable the next time you go to the market. Add one more home cooked meal. Work out one time more a week than you thought you would. Have one walk in nature. All this stuff really does add up. And in terms of plant based messaging, I sort of think of it like sex that, you hear about it and it's like, well, I don't know. And then you experience it. It's like, it really is a big deal. You can show forks over knives, but if you're not ready, it's like, But you're right. Every entree is a seed. So we've got to let it build and we've got to let it grow.
Yes. What a great way. What a great way to get closer to closing this up. So I couple of questions, right? One question and I typically ask people who are authors and have recipes, is what's your favorite recipe?
I'll answer that two ways.
Okay.
I'm promiscuous. I always go by what's in season. So right now it is very hot here and it's tropical fruit season. Avocados are fruit, by the way, botanically speaking. So I am foreseeing an avocado and mango salad with arugula later today.
Oh, that sounds
Very
amazing. What spices would you put on that? Anything?
some lemon juice, little good olive oil. Sometimes I think we're so used to umami bombs, we don't let the flavors of the foods themselves sing. Taste it first. And then, if you want to jazz it up totally, because my spice cabinet is the biggest part of my house. But you don't always need, and especially when the flavors are so pure, like they are with mango, they deserve to be closer to naked. They deserve to be seen.
Okay, I think I might do that with you. I don't have the arugula part. I have romaine in the house, but I have the
Excellent.
mangoes that are ripe and I have avocados that are ripe, or one avocado that's ripe. And that sounds amazing and a good way to make sure that we eat the mango that's really ripe and the flavors are incredible. And that's I think my boyfriend will be really happy. Stephen will be really happy with that combination because he already said we need to eat mangoes today. So and not a high calorie, high fat meal either. Healthy, healthy.
I also
So
have a new video out, which is a 5-minute black bean and mango salad. So you've already got your beans, you've got your mango, comes together so fast.
yes, that sounds delicious too. And of course, you can watch your videos, which are a great segue to how can people find you? How can people buy your books? How do people, watch these videos? Tell us how.
Soulful Vegan. Please come visit me at soulfulvegan.com. I would be glad to be a resource. I would love you to buy my book. I would love to be able to help you any which way with conscious cooking, mindful eating. I have tons of vegan recipes because I was Huffington Post's Meatless Monday blogger for years, and every week a new recipe. And every week a new way to explore what a plant based life is, which is why it is life, faith, and what to eat for dinner. It's not one thing, it's everything.
This has been wonderful. I couldn't have asked for better. That
Or stranger, but
it's right. I mean, it's different. I mean, we've had cookbook authors on, right? We've had cooking demos, but not with the same, for lack of a better word, spin, right? That you bring to what you do. And I'm sure everyone means to bring what you do into their thing, right? But it's not the same as it being your thing. As the mindfulness, the Buddhism, the going through, it's basically coming to center to enjoy your meal and making sure that you do that with other people. Other countries believe in that too. One of their guidelines of eating is not necessarily what you're eating, but just make sure you're eating with somebody as opposed to with your phone or with people and your phone. Right?
I
Is
really
to be
think eating
present.
together, I think it makes us better people, and we all could use a little of that.
Oh, yes, a lot of it. I definitely can use that in the world. And so as I typically close out, I want to say thank you so much, Ellen. This is amazing. I hope to meet you in person in I hope 2021 is the hope, and that you can come to our in-person events when we have them, because you'd be a great asset, a great person to have people sit on our education days and just get absorbed into their seats, actually literally into their seats, while you take them through that meditation. So Rand just said that.
Or cook for them. I love feeding people.
Oh, okay. And so we
Oh,
end up
all
cooking down with some of these. Frenchie's going to go look at her wheat garden and pick some herbs for bean salad. So what an influence! I also love this because it does tend to influence what I make for dinner after them. And Stephen will be like, well, "Why'd you make this tonight?" Well, I think my talk influenced me. So it'll definitely be part of the meal when we get to it, like 3 hours from now. So everyone, again, thank you so much for watching. Join us again on Sunday at 4 p.m. for our talk about Code Blue. Please watch the movie beforehand so you can ask questions. We're going to do that probably tomorrow night or Saturday, definitely before Sunday. We're going to watch the movie. And Dilip is local to our community, which is great. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel for Virtual Veg Fest so you can watch all our talks. This might be number 30. We're pretty close to uh, 30 talks now, which is amazing. And everyone, please, like I've said, please wear a mask. Please social distance. Please wash your hands. Put the mask over your nose, over your like to your chin. Make sure
It's
you do
not a
that, because the only
tab,
way.
it's not a headband.
Right, exactly. It's a chin band. You can watch Cuomo for that. And wear your mask, because the only way you'll see us in person anytime soon is if we get the pandemic, the virus under control. And I have a selfish reason for that, because it involves income. And I think Ellen has a selfish reason because it involves income. We love people. We want to be around you. But we also need to make a living. And the only way that some people can make a living is if everyone does their part to limit the amount of people dying and to wear a mask, so we can get rid of this virus sooner rather than later, because it's important. And I want to be able to see everyone, and I want you to be there and not have gotten sick from this virus. So that's my little thing that I close this out with. And everyone, we will see you on Sunday, not Saturday, but Sunday. And then, thank you for watching. We appreciate you. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.